Hello there, everyone. The Andrada here, and welcome back to episode 25 of our All the Mod 6 to the Sky Let's Play series. Where today we are going to get ourselves blaze rods. Okay, needing them for like 10 episodes now, which is a lot for this pack. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get blaze rods. How are we gonna get blaze rods? We are going to use Mekanism. I got it all bookmarked here. We're going to start diving into Mekanism and get this going. Apparently I finished some quests and I don't know what for, but I got some experience. So there we go. Yeah, we're going to get Mekanism set up so we can get some blaze rods, so we can start working on getting, expanding into industrial foregoing, so we can start auto crafting with that and start getting this mob farm that this beautiful mob farm that I set up here that I can't even use yet because, well, nothing's wanting to spawn. Okay, look, nothing spawned. All the time I've spent exploring, all the times I've done everything, nothing spawned. Yeah, kind of annoying. But anyway, let's continue. All right, so Mekanism. That's what we're going to dive into. Now, if you watched Enigmatica 6, I am tired of picking up these freaking eggs, guys. Like, for real, these eggs are driving me nuts. I need to set up like an absorption hopper over there. Just have them dump into the inventory. Or just better yet, just kill all the chickens. Anyway, chicken genocide aside, we are going to set up our Mekanism inside of a external or a compact machine, which I already have set up conveniently for us. And we're going to use XNet to automate it. XNet is, we discussed this, it was last episode. XNet is a fantastic mod. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. It's kind of sort of the Ender.io of 1.16 until Ender.io gets updated, if it gets updated. But basically, one connector, one pipe can do multiple different things, and you have a controller that controls all that stuff. So you're going to have one pipe pull items, one pipe or one connector can push, pull fluids, liquids, Mekanism gases, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty darn cool. I did set up auto crafting of these. It's fairly easy, and I did go with the blue ones because it uses lapis to get blue dye, and we have tons of lapis, like tons of lapis, so we're good to go with that. So we did use the blue ones to get it set up, and I got all of that pre-crafted, so we're ready to go into XNet at least. Into Mekanism, though, that is going to be another question. So what we need to do is we need to get Metallurgic Infuser set up. Other YouTubers or other people who have played, I've seen try to use one Metallurgic Infuser to do all of their crafting. I like to segregate all of mine. So I have one Metallurgic Infuser that just does the enriched carbon products, one that just does enriched redstone, diamond, and obsidian. And I like to automate the production of the carbon in all of the enriched products, keeping them in stock in our Metallurgic Infuser. So our Metallurgic Infuser will be fully stocked of its carbon and have one available at all times so that it only crafts one instead of, burning through all of our diamonds and stuff. You'll see what I mean when we get started into this, but we need to get started. Bear with me because I've only ever done this a few times, so sometimes I forget exactly what I'm doing. So just bear with me as we go through this. We're going to go through it together. It's going to come back to me as we build this. I built it in Enigmatica 6, but it was like episode 20, and we ended up through 105 episodes, so it's going to take me a bit to remember exactly how we did all this. One thing I do know that I did not set up for auto crafting is we are going to want advanced connectors from XNet. So let's just go ahead and how many of these can I make? 2? We're going to need more than 2. Let's go ahead and pop into our refined storage and just teach you how to make those really quick because we're going to want them for some of our pipes. And I don't know exactly how many, so I don't want to make a bunch of them when we don't need a bunch. But if you've never used XNet, the advanced, why does it keep spawning me facing the wall? The advanced connectors allow you to access all sides of a block, but only from one side, if that makes sense. So we can pull from the back, but we can have the connector on the front, essentially. Yeah, you'll understand when we get into it. So first things first, we ultimately need to make Metallurgic Infusers, and we're going to need at least 4 of these, if not more. But we need an enrichment chamber. as well. So let's go down the line. What do we need to get started? Metallurgic infusers are going to be easy to make. So let's go ahead and do these. Okay. So let's get 8 of those, and we have the osmium, so we should be good to go to make those. Okay, so that is the infusers. Now, what else do we need? Crusher and smelter, we're going to get into those. Yeah, okay, so metallurgic infusers. And then we're going to need our XNet. So we're going to need our connectors. We're going to need some network cables and a controller. I also went ahead and taught the system how to make the flux points, but we already had a flux point for our botany pots, so we'll use that one. Now we're just going to set this up over here. So ultimately, we're going to have a enrichment chamber and then all of the metallurgic infusers. So that's 5 machines. So if we do this, we'll have the enrichment chamber can sit over here, and our XNet controller can sit right next to it. Bam. Okay. So let's go ahead and clear out all of this area, and we're just going to clear out a good working space for us so we can get in and under and do the things that we are going to need to do. So first things first, power. Every one of these machines is going to need power. Let's go ahead and get our connectors and get our, this dude, what is this called? Flux point, yeah. So what we want to do is set up our flux point somewhere that we can get power, because the controller is going to require power and the machines are going to need some power. So if I set you up here, you will provide power to him. And we're going to change this to mechanism infusers. And then if we set up a connector on you, this guy needs a connect. The controller needs a connector as well. I want to make it as compact as I can, make it look nice, you know? I guess we could do that. No, I forgot you can't pull. So this needs to go here, and we're gonna need to set up a connector here. And you look ugly and you're not working. Okay, so we need a pipe, and I wonder if these pipes are going to work. We may need to get some mechanism pipes going for this, because the way that these pipes work is that they are very picky. You are going to be, yeah, you're going to be that. Yeah, but the connector isn't going to see the pipe. What if I do set it to extract? No. Okay, so that pipe doesn't work. We need to get some mechanism pipes going. Mechanism universal cable. We need this. It's the only way for this to work. So we need to get, we're gonna have to manually make some steel before we can get into this. Lovely. So we need iron, and then we're gonna need coal dust. So we need to go out here, and we're gonna teach. No, because eventually the mechanism stuff will take over. Let's just go into our thermal area and get some coal. And we're going to pulverize this. Turn off auto input for a second. Okay. And it's about time. We've been letting our time in a bottle build back up. So let's go ahead and speed it up. Oh, and you don't have enough power. Basic upgrade does, though. Okay. So that should be good to go. Come on. There's coal dust and then iron. It is unable to keep up, but that's okay. Induction smelter can be you, and you'll do your thing. This does have upgrades in it too, so yeah, that's as fast as it goes, even upgraded. That's lovely. Hey, we're getting sulfur though. And bam, that's all of that. So we can put the rest of that in there, and that will cook up the steel. We can turn auto input back on for this. we'll let that cook up because we have the steel being produced. Steel, correct. Okay. Okay, so what did we need that steel for? Pipes, yes, okay. Universal cable. I'm like, I could not remember what this was for. This universal cable can transfer 3000 RF, it looks like. And look, now it connects. Exactly what we needed it to do. So that's good. And we could, no, we couldn't. There's no real way to make this look nice unless we put the controller in the floor, which is a possibility, but that's okay. Anyway, so let's pop down here. Fall down, please. And we're going to set connectors up on all of these guys. And now that I think about it, we need to move all of this one forward because we're going to need to get refined storage in here for auto crafting too. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. So let's get dirt or something and put all of these one more forward, and you as well. Okay, so let's try this again. So the point is going to go here. Bam. Cable can go here to be extracted from, and then a connector can go here. There's going to be a connector here, and then all of these are going to get connectors too. So bam. And then refined storage can come up and loop into the top. Perfect. For the crafters, because the crafters that we're going to have to sit on top. Now this guy will handle the outputs, and we can set it to output into an interface. But yeah, the crafters are going to need to come in and sit on top of these, or on the back, or something like that. But the bottom is being taken, so yeah. Anyway, so first things first, we need to get power. So what we're going to do is we're going to say channel 1, right? Channel 1 is going to be an energy channel, and we're going to call this the power channel. So we're going to say, okay, from our basic universal cable, we need to create a interface, I guess you could say, or an interaction, or I don't know what you would call these. Anyway, we're going to say we're going to extract from the cable. Priority doesn't matter. Minimum, maximum rate doesn't matter. But what we're going to say is we're going to insert to all of our machines. So we're going to set these up as an insert. So what it's going to do is extract from this cable and insert to all of these. And you can see they all have power. Easy peasy. So that is the power production solved already. Pretty much done. So now what we need to do is get all of these guys working. In order to do so, though, we need to get an enrichment chamber. In order to get an enrichment chamber, we need these basic control circuits. And those go into a machine with redstone dust. Or, well, redstone and osmium is going to make us this. We just need a couple to make the first two. So let's go ahead and see what is the... so this is going to use 20 millibuckets of this. And each one of these is going to give us, I believe, 10. So we're going to need 4. Is that accurate? That gets us 40. Yes. And if I grab my osmium, and we grab 2 of those and put it in there, it's going to do its thing, and it's going to make the basic control circuits. And that will allow us to get our enrichment chamber, and then we can automate this whole process, which then means we'll be able to speed up this whole process, because once it's automated, it can be sped up. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we'll grab these and then dump them into our system and ask for an enrichment chamber. It's going to require a steel casing, which needs some glass. Apparently I don't have any glass made up. Bam. And enrichment chamber. Okay. And then the enrichment chamber can go here as well. Bam. And what we're going to do is say, enrichment chamber, you also need power. So insert power into this guy. All right, so the way that the enrichment chamber works is you put your item in. So example, say we want to make enriched carbon, right? We're going to put a piece of coal or charcoal in here, and it's going to create an enriched carbon. And the reason we want to use the enriched version of it is if we look at the usage of this, this is going to create 80 millibuckets of carbon. If we look at carbon, if we put coal in, just regular old coal, that only gets us 10 millibuckets. So if we put in the enrichment chamber a piece of coal, turn it into enriched carbon, it multiplies the ability of its usage ability times 8. So we get 8 carbon from 1 coal if we enrich it. If we don't enrich it, it's just 1-to-1. If you're flush on coal and you really don't care, go the other route. It doesn't really matter. But I like to, it's an efficiency thing. You're 8xing your coal production essentially. So, or coal usage, which is the way to go. So yeah, anyway. So what we need to do now is get an interface, okay? We need an interface. And we're going to set this guy up down here as well. And he can go right here because there's already a connector there. And then we need to run cables to him. So we're going to do that via this route. And we'll just, hopefully that's enough cables. I don't know. But it looks like it is. And then eventually we're going to run cables, or a cable up to the top because we're going to have, what's it called? Crafters on top of each of these. Okay, so what we need to do is make one of each of these things right now. So we need to get a piece of coal. The nice thing with this, oh, it didn't work. Well, I was going to say the nice thing with that is that you can just click that button and it will give you the item, but it's not working. So we need a piece of coal, we need redstone, and then we need a diamond. So we're going to pop this in here and it's going to enrich it. This does have the muting. Yeah, we'll probably end up muting. Mekanism machines sound cool, but they can be very loud, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, basically we're going to enrich all of these. The refined obsidian one we'll have to get to at the end because it requires us to make obsidian dust, which requires us to have the diamond, and then yeah. So it has a little extra steps in it, but once we get the basics automated, we'll be able to jump into the rest. Okay, cool. So we have one of each of these. So what we're going to do is, it's not set up to do this yet, but what we're going to say is we are going to export one of each of these, right? So this is going to keep one of each of these in stock at all times in our interface. And then we can go ahead and keep them on our hand because we're going to need them. Okay, so this guy is going to be our carbon. This guy is going to be our redstone. This is going to be our diamond. This is our enriched obsidian. So we're going to start with this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to say on this channel, we are going to create a item channel. And we're going to call this, this is going to be the enriched products. And we're going to say, okay, on this interface, right? The interface, you are going to extract, but you are going to only extract the things that I say, which is going to be this, this, and this. And then we're going to say, okay, we need the metallurgic infuser. If you double click on the picture in here, it will tell you which metallurgic infuser you're looking at. So it's the first one. So this metallurgic infuser, we need a create, and we need to insert on that channel, right? But the only thing we want to insert onto this channel is the carbon. And we also only want to insert one. We want to make sure that only one of these ends up in this inventory at all times. Once this fills out, because it's going to add one, it's going to add it to its buffer, add one, add to its buffer. And then eventually we're going to sit here with only one of these in this inventory at all times, which is what we want to have happen so we never run out. On this, we're going to set up our configuration. So we're going to say, okay, the input of the items is input and output is all going to be done from the bottom. However, the machine, we're going to end up having to hook up these connectors to, because we're going to have to trick the machine to say, hey, you're going to input and output out of the same slot, or different slots, but it's all coming out of the bottom. So we're going to say from the bottom is going to be where the yellow slot is going to come from. And then also from the bottom is going to be the red. However, there is no option here to have input and yellow in the same slot. So we're going to reset all of these, and we're going to say, okay, if that's the case, the let's say the top is going to be the input and the output, right? So we're going to take our connector upgrades, and we're going to go down here, and we are going to upgrade that connector, okay? So then we can come over here, because we're going to need to be able to extract items. So we're going to call this our extract channel. Not extract, extract, right? We're going to say, okay, metallurgic infuser, you're going to create items, you're going to do your thing. So we're going to have you extract, and you can extract a whole stack, and we're going to set it to as fast as it possibly can be. With the upgraded connectors, that's 5 ticks, or yeah, it takes 5 ticks in between operations. Super fast. And we're going to say, which side do we want it to operate from? Currently, it's hooked up to the down, but we just set the machine here to output to the top, right? So what we need to do is tell the connector, hey, you're hooked up to the down, but you're going to pull from the top. All that makes sense? Let's demonstrate, okay? So what we're going to do, we'll go ahead and add this guy in here, and it should immediately have pulled it into here, which it did. We have carbon available to us here. And we're going to set up a autocraft for this thing, by the way. So anyway, we have this in here. We have carbon. What are we going to use carbon for? Well, let's go over here, hit U. What is carbon used for? Well, carbon is used to make steel. So if we get some iron and put it in here, we're going to get enriched iron. And watch this happen. I did set that to, so it's going to extract from here. By the way, you also need to set it to insert into the interface. But if we put this iron in here, it's going to cook it, or it's going to infuse it with the carbon, and then it's going to get extracted out of the top, which is really the bottom of the machine, and it's going to end up in here. And we're going to have an enriched iron. Ta-da! So we need to do that for all the machines. So we need to set this one up to do the redstone. So that is probably the second one, yes. So you are going to be a insert of the redstone, right? And only one. And then you are going to be an insert of the diamond and a 1, just to verify that is the diamond one. So now it's going to extract from the interface all of those and insert into each machine respectively. And then each one of these can get an extract, but they're also going to be set to extract from the top. But we need to get the connector upgrades. So I need 3 more of those. Shouldn't take too long. And I'm probably going to need to, get under here. So that's you. I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade the master one, because it's the one pulling all of our power and everything. So why not? Yeah. Okay. So then that one, we will say we are going to extract from you on the top, stacks at a time, every 5 ticks. And then same thing all around. Did I not upgrade this one? Oh, duh. I didn't change it to an extract. Bam and bam. Okay, so now these are all going to extract from the top. I need to set all of these up to be exactly the same. And you're going to input from the top. Input, output on the top. Did I set that one to purple? No. Because the crafter is going to sit on the top. And bam. Okay, so that is all of those. So let's get some crafters going, and we can actually show this off. So eventually, in total, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to need 5 crafters. Do they all need to be iron? I don't think so, but what I would hate to do is put regular crafters in there and then end up needing iron, because then it's a pain to upgrade them, because there's no like in-place upgrade. iron crafters do use a lot of power though, and I don't know how we're doing for our power, so yeah, I guess we'll just do regular ones for now. Go ahead and do the thing. Julie, do the thing. Well, there's one. There we go. Okay. So let's get our wrench out. Time in a bottle. You can go back to where you belong. You're going to go there, 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 there. Not there. There and there. Not there. Oh my goodness, buddy. You drive me nuts. And then we need to just rotate these to input from the top. Okay, so we're going to pop back home and we're going to go say, okay, we need to make these things. So how do you make this? Well, that's this. That's the recipe for that. This is the recipe for that. And this is the recipe for that. And like I said, we'll deal with the refined obsidian later. And now if we look up circuits and we want to make these basic control circuits, this is the recipe for that, right? But we're going to get rid of the redstone. Oh, I meant to get rid of the redstone, not the osmium. So we're going to say 1 osmium equals 1 basic control circuit. And that should be a good test of how this works. Also, I just noticed I must not have osmium being output into the exporter out there, because that's a lot of osmium. Okay, so we're going to say this is how we make all of these things, and then you go into the redstone one to make these basic control circuits, right? We also need to set up a crafting upgrade on this so that thing can make its upgrades. Or that way it can craft the things that it needs to craft. But before we put this in here, we're going to say, okay, all right, enriched redstone. All right, I want 10 of those. So what it's going to do is go ahead, make 10 of those. I also need to set the enrichment chamber to an extract as well. Stack, and you don't need to be upgraded. You do need to say you're going to input from the top and output to the bottom. There we go. So now those are going to show up in our inventory. Well, they would normally, but they're automatically being exported and then pulled back into this thing. Or into this guy. But yeah, it's working. So this thing's doing exactly what it's intended to do. So it's making those and then it's automatically pulling them into there because that's what I told it to do, but that's okay. So that crafting card, now we can put that in here and it's going to go ahead and request the crafts of all of these things. And if we go back over to our refined storage and our crafting monitor, we should see, hey, it has those scheduled. Yeah, pretty sweet. So that is the automation of all this stuff. So once this thing fills up with its redstone, which we can just, we can help it out by just putting a little bit of, redstone in here manually. Was it a waste? Yes, but we got plenty of it. So now it has one. It should no longer be putting them in here. The rest of these should be going to our inventory. Well, one of them is going to sit in the inventory down here. Yeah. And then the next one that's made should, in theory, end up in the refined storage system. Ta-da! Theory is correct. So then, if I go over here and I say we want these circuits, we've already validated this whole thing works. Like, it's doing the thing. It's keeping one in stock here. The interface is keeping its one in stock. We're good to go. Like, as simple as that. Yeah. So now it's going to start making the diamond ones. So it's processing the diamond, and then the carbon ones will eventually show up on the list as well. Though I taught the system how to make the carbon one, right? Right? Yeah. So the carbon ones will show up on the list eventually too. But yeah, that's as simple as that. That's automating your metallurgic infusers. So you just got to put your recipes that you have for each of the machines in here, and you are golden, good to go. So next episode, we'll work on getting the refined, the enriched obsidian. That's going to require us to get the crusher and energized smelter set up. And then we'll work on getting upgrades. Like Mechanism has a bunch of upgrades that we can get. mainly speed and energy. Those are the two that we're going to need. Each machine can take 8 of each, and they are what we need to speed this process up. On top of that, we can also get the tier installers, and we can make these factories. When you make them factories, they run faster and they have more input slots, so they can do more work. So next episode, we'll work on getting all of that set up. I'm going to teach the system how to make these infused alloys, because that's what we're going to need for this. It already knows how to make gold dust. It probably doesn't know how to make osmium dust, so we'll set that up too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I love XNet. I love automating with it. It's such a great mod. It's just, yeah, it works so well. One pipe does all of that stuff for us, and we don't have to have, you know, this massive pipe run and all this stuff. Just one little guy does all the work for us. Super simple. But yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.